So hi, good afternoon. I'm Len from 0smosis. Let me start you guys with the question. Who in the room owns or works at a company? Please raise your hands. I think it should be almost everyone. Who can agree that in your company's mission or vision or strategy, you talk about the end customer? Is it still quite a lot? Okay.
Still quite good.
Yeah?
Now, in doing so, how much time do you spend in analyzing the real problem of your customer? Or do you jump immediately to solutions?
Yeah, a famous quote from Einstein is, if you give me 60 minutes to solve a problem, I will solve 55 minutes defining the problem and only 5 minutes coming up with the solution. The thing is, how do we do that with regards to customer problems? How do we define what the actual problems are that our current customers have? And how do we translate that into products that customers actually love?
So we are 0smosis, and we are a Belgian startup builder, and we build fintechs. We do this on our own funding, and we do this also together with banks and insurance. So far, we've launched 2 fintechs. The first one was Helder Loans, which you can compare to a kayak or a sky scanner, but then for mortgage loans, completely personal advice.
Yeah, the second one is called You Owe Me. It was a question from the ECB to come up with a use case with regards to instant payments. We've looked into the customer data we'd gathered before, and we said, okay, there are some segments which are interested in getting their money back quickly from friends. Something we couldn't come up with ourselves, but something we saw in our data. So that's why we created a chatbot on Facebook, which helps you getting your money back from friends, which is especially interesting for students, for example.
By running these experiments, we started cracking the code on how to define great fintechs. We just started to develop a method on how you could analyze what the customer problems really were. So you could reduce the number of experiments, and you would limit the times you have to fail forward.
So that's the whole question. How do you define on what customers actually want before you start building? We know there's a whole idea of failing fast forward, but the failing forward is difficult and costly. So how can we start from the customer needs before we actually build?
So today is actually a very great day, because today we're going to launch something we've been using internally for quite a while now. And it's called Unveil. Unveil is a customer segmentation tool that allows you to, A, interview customers like you've never interviewed them before, discover segments of opportunities very easily, and use it when developing your products in your innovation workshops.
Exactly. So we're quite excited because you will be the first beta public to see what we actually do in the background before we start a venture or before we start our own fintechs. So here to walk you through it while I will explain what happens. So the first 2 steps is actually a qualitative interviewing of clients and then defining questions for a quantitative aftermath. Don't worry, it's not that complex. We have a few blog posts explaining it in a simple way. And then it becomes a bit more complex because you need statistical regression analysis on the data to come up with sufficient segmentation within the data. And that's where this tool can help you out. You simply fill in the template we've created, you upload it to our website, and it's now processing a bit, it's doing all the things in the background. And it will then give you a clear segmentation of where do customers see their real problems and how important are those problems for them, which gives you a solid foundation to come up with solutions for those problems.
Yeah, the data we're showing you right now is a survey or research which we've conducted together now with a Austrian bank. And the use case which we're exempling here is the journey of millennials that started to have their first job, that are starting to save money, and how do they invest while they still have limited funds. So we've run the qualitative interviews, we've surveyed around, I think, 1,000 of these customers, and now currently we've uploaded the data. So what does Unveil do for you, or how can Unveil help you? Well, it plots the real customer needs on a value proposition canvas, which is often used in customer workshops, but more importantly, it highlights the real true pains your customers have. And here we see a bundling of requirement. We see that over 50% of the millennials are currently struggling with defining the real good options when making financial decisions. We saw from the quality feedback also that they want to know everything, investing in real estate, investing in stock, but also talking about crypto, and they do not feel that with the current offerings, with the current solutions, they really get a great offering. We've also seen that they do think that the simulations provided by the banks today are not sufficient in covering like unforeseen circumstances, and also around pricing and around fees, they really see the fee structure as a hurdle. So these are the 3 pains when you define your new investment startup, your new investment product as a bank or as a fintech, these are the pains you should tackle right away. These are the things you can help your clients immediately with, and these challenge the internal assumptions which we often see boardrooms, but also fintechs make.
Exactly. When we started our FinTech Venture Studio around 1 year ago, we cut our daytime jobs and we went full on for this experience. So we started venturing ourselves. We had the idea that we wanted to globally impact financial services and put them in the post-digital era. We, of course, cannot do that by ourselves. We can only facilitate the innovations in a lot of organizations. So that's why we provide you with this tool. So together we can really start from the customer perspective, be serious about what customer wants, and build products they love in a post-digital era. Thank you.
Thank you very much.